can vary a lot, actually. But there are some common characters that we can consider more or less every time present in the definition of what we can call really a right of property. The property is transferable. Inalienability is very rare in property law. So when we are owners, again, the importance of the market and the respect that the law pays to the market. Again, respect not in the sense that the law feels of not great importance. The market, not because the law has no power, let's say, to define the market. The market is more powerful than the law, so the law is not able to define the market. No, forget it. The law is one of the sciences actually studying the market. The market is the object of the attention of the law. The market is not in competition with the law. Law and economics, for example, can be considered in competition, in scientific competition, let's say, in mapping and checking out the requirements of the market, how to consider it, because they have different perspectives, different languages, different purposes. The market is not as such in contrast with the law. It's the object of attention of the law. So the law in analyzing what happens outside, it is very rare that the law considers that there are properties that cannot be moved from the asset of one person to another. The market teaches us that the distribution of the assets is continuously changing, more and more in the history of the evolution of the societies. Everything can be put on the market. And we saw that even the definition of goods increases a lot in the last centuries, enlarging a lot the definition of what can be put to the market, creating new generations of goods. What are the law really looking at here in detecting the fact that the market is enlarging the kind of values that can be put to the market? The law is looking at a situation of continuous exchanging of values. If we are defining a good as something that someone is available to pay for, just in defining a good, we are taking the position of someone who is trying to buy something. So exchanging money with this value, so exchanging economic values, and so moving continuously the properties over the goods. A DNA character of the market is the fact that the market is continuously pushing for change of properties of goods, of values, both tangible and intangible. And so the law, in looking at this situation, very rarely defines the right of property as not transferable. An example can be some important artistic buildings that are in the asset of public entities, public authorities. So the Doge's Palace of Venice has a burden of inalienability, cannot be sold, because there are situations, there are some kind of goods, particularly immovable goods, that cannot be put into the market. Again, not because the market is not considering these goods as transferable. It is actually, but just because the law intervenes here and says, okay, no, this is not possible. I know that if I don't intervene, and if I don't put in written that Doge's Palace can be can be sold freely like any other building. It can happen that the municipality can take that into consideration. So I don't want this to happen. And so I put the burden of inalienability. But this is very rare. Usually, the law respects the fact that the market is pushing for a continuous change of the property. And as a matter of fact, the law historically is against the concentration of properties or property rights over the same persons. Historically, the law is against the situation of powerful entities continuously increasing their own assets, not using those assets, not putting those assets in the market, not investing on those properties. We'll see that in a few minutes. There are situations where, on the contrary, the law is creating the conditions according to which the property of a certain kind of goods can be transferred, can be changed. So the law is very much interested in respect this character of the market, with some rare exceptions. The owner has the power of excludability, the power to either exclude or permit access to a particular good at the owner's exclusive choice. Property is therefore about control over access to goods and prohibitions for anybody else to enjoy the good of the owner, at least without his consent. I think this is very intuitive. When I am owner of something, I am the only one deciding what's going to happen with the thing that I'm owner of. And so a consequence of that is, even according to the law, that no one else in the world can interfere with moral property. No one else in the world can have a legal title to prevent me from enjoying the right they have without my consent. Of course, I can decide to limit my right to property. The example of the lease agreement, for example, I am owner of a flat. I'm limiting myself in using that flat because I'm getting money in return. Of course, I'm letting another person to leave it to my place. But it is a choice of mine. I enter a negotiation. Nobody forced me to do that. So again, it's very rare that the law infringes this kind of interest, which is an ancillary but very important interest of being owner of something. If I'm owner, so not just possessing them, not just having a general availability. No, if I'm owner of something, I am the master, let's say, of that thing. And I can do whatever I want. And I'm the only one deciding what to do or not to do with the good that I'm owner of. So the title, the right of property entitles me, and only me, to decide what to do with my things. So if I have a garden, I'm the only one deciding who's going to enter or not my garden. If I have a flat, I'm the only one deciding who is allowed to get in or not. Situations where this specific aspect of the right of property can be violated, again, are very, very rare. The police using the force to enter my place because the police is thinking is going to be committed a crime into my flat. So very extreme situation, of course. But usually the right of property has this, the owner, so the person entitled to the right of property has this power of excludability. Who is admitted, who is permitted, who is not to have access to use my thing is up to my decision. The owner can do in principle whatever he wants of the good, even destroy it, the freedom to fully enjoy the goods. In saying that the power of excludability means that I am the only one deciding who else can be involved in the use of the goods,